Hello, this is Matt Haney.
And this is Ronald Broadway.
The movie we watched was District 9. It was a good movie. We really thought it did show a lot of intercultural scenes. I guess you could say it was extremely intercultural because it was two real different species in itself. It was humans versus aliens, so it was pretty good. Two of the scenes that we saw that we liked were that I liked was the first scene where the aliens were introduced to the humans, and the next scene was the aliens getting evicted by the humans.
Two scenes that I liked were, like Matt said, the humans going into the refugee camps and sending them their eviction letters, and the second scene was where the alien and the human are experiencing heavy gunfire, and the alien sees his dead friend on the table, and through the gunfire he just can't help but to stand there hopelessly as he sees his friend dead and not alive, which shows compassion just like any other movie.
To me, the first scene was intercultural because, the humans were talking and the aliens, they were kind of making these clicking sounds, but there were no subtitles. But after a while you could tell that they were communicating. That was kind of interesting to me because it was like, you don't know what they're saying exactly, but you feel me, probably it was,
Yeah, just it showed that they had to use other tactics to understand each other. I guess you could say they were mouthing the words, or they would do certain gestures to help the other species understand what they were trying to say.
Ronald, during your scene where they were shooting at the alien and saw compassion, it was cool, but I think that it was more of verbal body language that gave it away, not just compassion in general. Because you saw him. He would, even though the aliens don't really cry, he stood there while getting shot at, and he kind of cried. So it was kind of, you saw his physical body doing something different to display his emotions. So it was kind of cool.
Well, but I would say that communication can be expressed, physically, also, physically and verbally. That's how we could tell that he was showing compassion, was when he looked like he was just depressed and he couldn't believe that his friend was there lying on the table dead, and even you saw the tears coming down his face, which completely gave it away that he was obviously upset that his friend wasn't alive anymore.
Yeah. For my scene, the first one when they met the aliens, you saw another form. To me, I seen a lot of physical communication, not touching, but when the humans first met the aliens, all the aliens scattered away because they were afraid. So you saw a lot of physical. It looked like that's how they communicated at first. Then it was interesting to see them verbally communicate.
Yeah, but I agree. As you said, when the aliens ran away when they were first introduced to the humans, that showed that they were actually more scared of the humans, and the humans were scared of them. And as the years went on, they progressed into verbally communicating with the humans, and the humans communicating with the aliens, which helped them, in my opinion, live amongst each other.
I agree with that. In my first scene, we saw the humans interacting and stuff. In real life, I think instead of busting into the alien spaceship and being all explorative, I think I would have still waited, even though it was going to take a long time, and I would have waited for the aliens to come out, and then I would have slowly tried to talk to a leader. I don't know, what would you have done, Bobby?
Um, yeah, I agree. They shouldn't have just went up there and just asserted their, I guess, in the aliens' eyes, probably their dominance. But um, yeah, but I think I probably would have sent one person or maybe just a couple people instead of a whole army in suits. Because that could, in the aliens' eyes, probably was very intimidating and caused them to be scared and run.
Okay. In my second scene of the eviction, I feel like it wasn't really a form of dialogue. It was just more of one-sided because they were already bossing around, showing their hierarchy, their dominance, all that. I feel like in a real life situation, it resorts back to a leader again, and I wouldn't have ran into their villages, their little slums, their huts with guns and told them that I was forcing them all out. I feel like that's kind of like that's not a way to create a relationship at all. That's just a way to show you're a boss over somebody. I would have probably I probably would have just talked to the one person and then slowly came in there instead of with hella guns and airplanes and try to take over the whole village and kick them all out. I don't know. What would you have done, probably?
I would have done some of the similar things like that, but yeah, you don't want to ever assert your dominance in a dialogue, because I could see from the aliens' perspective, they probably felt like they didn't have a choice, whether they wanted to become evicted or not. They just were basically being told, like, hey, you got to leave. This is how it's going to be. So, like you said, the humans were basically asserting their dominance and basically kicking out of their homes that they've been living in for over 20 years. Some ways people can communicate to develop positive relationships with another culture. You got to be understanding. If you understand that you're dealing with another culture, then you will basically understand that it's going to be harder to communicate with them verbally. You never know what language they could speak. They could be trying to speak English, but it might be more of a broken English that might be harder for you to understand.
I agree with you. I think the key to creating a positive relationship with culturally different people is just you have to be open. You can't be walked on. It can't be like a rug or a doormat. But it's the keys of dialogue. You got to stand your ground, but you have to be accepting. I feel like if you accept what other people are telling you at first, then you build your own opinion off that. It works a lot smoother to create positivity instead of just going in there saying, okay, we're going to be nice and this is how we're going to do it. Overall, I think it was a good movie. I enjoyed watching it. It was a good movie for a project.
Yes, my first time watching it, I felt that it was a pretty good movie, and I wish I would have seen it when it first came out.
Yep. All right.